हेलो एवरीवन, गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड इवनिंग ऑल। कैसे हैं सब लोग? मेरा नाम है अरविंद
Namaste everyone. Saurav here.
और हम हैं हैदराबाद बॉयज, वी टॉक ऑल थिंग्स क्रिकेट। पिछले वीडियो में हमने बात करी थी इंडिया वर्सेस साउथ अफ्रीका की, which happened in no, India versus South Africa, which the series was drawn 1-1. There was similarly a parallel series happening on the other part of the world. Um, Australia was playing Pakistan, and I actually enjoyed the Test cricket this time. एंड आई थॉट हम एक छोटा सा वीडियो कर लेते हैं इसके बारे में। सौरभ, आई थिंक इट्स आल्सो मार्क द एंड ऑफ डेविड वार्नर, वन ऑफ द ग्रेट ऑस्ट्रेलियन players ever to
Yes.
have, after after all the other greats we had, Hayden Gilchrist, one of the other great ones. He's retired officially now. He's already retired in ODIs, and he played his last test in front of his home crowd in Sydney. तो मुझे लगा कि यार एक अच्छा छोटा सा वीडियो कर लेते हैं इनके बारे में, एंड जस्ट रिव्यू वेयर थिंग्स स्टैंड विद द ऑस्ट्रेलियन एंड पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट। तो सौरभ, मैं स्कोर कार्ड देख रहा था, 3 टेस्ट मैच हुए। इफ यू लुक एट इट इन दिस थिंग, एंड टू टूर मैचेस, पाकिस्तान हैज नॉट वन एनीथिंग. It has been a drubbing of, I don't know, I would not say highest orders, but because Pakistan entertained everyone with their fielding, with their comedy fielding, and with their I don't know, comical captaincy or strange captaincy. I'm not sure what to call it. Uh, with the kind of bowling changes and everything. But 3-0 out in test matches. First test, Australia won by 360 runs. Pakistan crashed for 89 in the second innings. Second test, Australia won actually by 79 runs. It was actually a little closer than the runs we made out. And the third one, again, Australia won by 8 wickets. Um, so my take was, स्कोर कार्ड अगर देखेंगे या नंबर्स देखेंगे, इट्स नॉट टेलिंग द फुल स्टोरी की लग तो रहा है कि
Right.
ड्रबिंग हुआ है, but in essence the series was actually little bit more closer than what the scorecard would say. In each of the test match, Pakistan probably had a good chance to win the game, and they threw it away. They're doing
Yeah.
their Pakistan things, but in the end, Shan Masood's captaincy's tour has not produced any win for Pakistan, and they are, I think, they haven't won in what, 30 years. And I think, yeah, last time, I don't know when they won the last time there. Uh,
1995.
1995. And I think that record still continues there. So all in all, entertaining series for a fan. But I think Pakistan will probably be little. I don't think they will be disappointed, but I think the result went on the expected lines. So, Saurabh, what's your take in the entire series
Result,
overall?
the result did go on the expected lines. I mean, मुझे याद है जब वर्ल्ड कप चल रहा था, जब पाकिस्तान का, they kind of exited way early. So Wasim Akram was asking this question continuously. Who are Pakistani bowlers who are going to be, playing in Australia in a month's time? So no one had an answer, and you just knew the reason ki Pakistan, and you just knew ki Pakistan is going to struggle big time when they go to Australia. They just had Shaheen Shah Afridi, who I think वो एक और डिस्कशन होनी चाहिए उनके ऊपर कि यार थर्ड टेस्ट मैच वो नहीं खेले बिकॉज ही वाज रेस्टेड, कोट एंड कोट। और आपको मालूम होगा शाहिन शाह अफरीदी नाउ इज दी T20 कैप्टन, सो T20 सीरीज है अभी न्यूजीलैंड के साथ। आई थिंक दे आर गोइंग टू ट्रैवल टू न्यूजीलैंड इन फ्यू डेज टाइम, सो आई थिंक दे वर रेस्टिंग हिम फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर सीरीज, which is insane, which also begs to ask the question ki is really the test cricket, is it really losing, or does it hold that status that that we as cricket fans want to give कि आपने सिडनी जैसी जगह पे, जहाँ पे, क्योंकि मेलबर्न में शाहीन शाह अफरीदी बोल्ड रिलेटिवली वेल, तो लग रहा था कि वो फॉर्म में आ रहे हैं, एंड व्हेन ही वाज अबाउट टू, और ही पिक्ड अप लिटिल बिट ऑफ फॉर्म, यू डिसाइडेड टू ड्रॉप हिम। तो आपने बोला कि सीरीज थोड़ी क्लोज फाइट हुई थी। आई मीन पर्थ वाज एक्चुअली वन साइडेड रहा था पर्थ में। मेलबर्न थोड़ा सा क्लोज हुआ, थोड़ा सा क्लोज हुआ, एंड बाय द टाइम इट केम सिडनी इट बिकेम एक्चुअली वेरी क्लोज. There were moments when I thought Australia is going to lose it here, and Pakistan is going to salvage some sort of a pride and hold that record of which is lasting for 27, 28 years, where they haven't won a test match. They haven't even been able to draw. Just imagine, it's a 17 zip now. सो लग रहा था कि पाकिस्तान जीत सकती है, एंड मैं ऑफलाइन आपको टेक्स्ट भी कर रहा था दैट देयर वर मोमेंट्स वेयर पाकिस्तान कुड हैव वन दिस टेस्ट मैच. लेकिन पाकिस्तान जस्ट बीइंग पाकिस्तान यार, आई मीन 67 for 7, and that's it. The game was over. I mean, Australia is not going to let you, breathe if you make such mistakes. And और आपने शायद बोला कॉमिकल फील्डिंग, आई थिंक. हाँ मैन, आई मीन उसके ऊपर है ना मीम बना सकते हैं पाकिस्तान की फील्डिंग के बारे में यार, सीरियसली.
I know. I mean, there was, I think, X में already there were like memes or videos बोल सकते हैं where the fielder was diving and then he dove into the legs of the other Pakistani, the fielder. I don't know the names, and
Yeah.
catching, fielding, everything. I mean, they could have made a series. They could have won a game if they had played.
They could have won a game. They could have definitely won Sydney game. I mean,
They could
मिचेल
have won the
मार्श
City game.
सात सात रन पे आउट हो गए थे. 7 रन पे उन्होंने उनका कैच ड्रॉप किया था, which was a sitter, by the way. Sam Hugh, I think he was the one. He was a culprit there. And Mitchell Marsh went on scoring 50 odd runs. I think that was very, very decisive. Um, I think Pakistan will rue, at least the Sydney Test match, if not Melbourne. Melbourne, I think बाद में जाके one sided हो चुका था. लेकिन यार, I think Pakistan missed the golden opportunity. Just understand the state of Pakistan Test cricket right now. They missed an opportunity to win a Test match, not win the Test series, win a Test match. और पाकिस्तान का टेस्ट क्रिकेट आई थिंक is on a decline. They haven't
It
been
is.
able to win in home. They have lost the series to England. They have lost the series to Australia. I think they drew the series against New Zealand, if I'm right. And they haven't toured anywhere outside. I think West Indies में भी शायद टाइम हो गया वेस्ट इंडीज में तो गए हुए, लेकिन
Yeah.
टूरिंग भी उनका उतना अच्छा रहा नहीं है. सो टेस्ट क्रिकेट, आई थिंक, या आई मीन पाकिस्तान को देखना पड़ेगा कि वो टीम अपना कॉम्बिनेशन क्या रखे. उनके पास स्पिनर भी नहीं है. आई डोंट नो इफ यू ऑब्जर्व दैट,
They
अरविंद.
didn't have a spinner.
They are struggling to find a spinner.
I know, the irony of all of this, the trophy is called Beno Kadir Trophy.
Oh, Kadir.
And
Kadir
I'm
must be
like,
fading.
dude, where's the spinner in this team? Uh it's an absolute this thing. मैं stats देख रहा था, Saurav. I mean, Amir Jamal has been fined. I don't know. I mean, I
So
would
he
call him fined because I haven't seen him before in this, in this format. I know he's played well in the Sydney game in the first innings. 82 उन्होंने मारा था. ऐसा लग रहा था they would have been crashed and burnt. He scored that 82. He had 18 wickets. He is the second highest wicket taker in the entire series, right after Patrick Cummins, who had a blinder of a Test series. I mean, make no mistake,
blinder
he's
of an
having
year.
he's had a blinder of an year, and I know Sunrise. I will talk about IPL in future, but Sunrise is picking up. मुझे लग रहा है कि यार, I think they still paid a lot for him. He's not may not be great in, well, he may not have the same impact of T20, but the kind of year he's having, he can be the perfect
You
motivation
never
for
know.
where Sunrisers is. You never know. But 19 wickets by Pat Cummins, 18 by Jamal. Lyon was third, 13 wickets, and then Stark was fourth, and then Hazelwood was fifth. So there was only one Pakistan bowler in the top five, and that was Amir Jamal. Next comes Shaheen Shah Afridi, Mir Hamza, and Khurram Shahzad. They were like single digit wickets, 8 wickets, 7 wickets. These are the only double wickets you can see it. And and so same trend is seeing in the bowling. The top five are all Australian batsmen. It's Mitchell Marsh, highest score, 344 runs at a 96. David Warner scored a 164, and then highest score was 299. So he's signing off as the second highest wicket taker, scorer in the series. Usman Khwaja, Manas Lavashen, Steve Smith, the first Pakistani batsman to have entered the list is Mohammad Rizwan. Scored 193 runs essentially. At that 88 उन्होंने एक मारा था. And Shan Masood had couple of 50s and 60s, but that's it.
That's it.
So
That's it.
it's been, again, if you take out these, I mean, that's what they always been, individual brilliance here and there. Amir Jamal's individual brilliance, Shaheen Shah Afridi maybe taking a couple of wickets in a session. But you take them out, it's an absolute, you know, crapper of whatever the it would have been even worse, by the way. Um,
I mean, देखिए अगर before the start of the series, I would have definitely said Australia would win 3-0. लेकिन the biggest disappointment I think for Pakistan was in this particular series, barring Shan Mashood being the captain, जिन्होंने आपने बताया सिर्फ दो फिफ्टीज मारी, which where I think he played relatively well, देखा जाए तो, has been Shaheen Shah Afridi and Babar Azam. These are their two quote unquote star players. You can definitely debate, are they really star players now? Shaheen Shah
well,
Afridi, if you just
I'll
look,
not debate on Shaheen Shah Afridi, but I'll definitely want to give you a quote on the Babar Azam stat there. 3 test matches, 6 innings, 126 runs in the entire series. Not the game, series. Highest score of 41, average of 21.
true.
And he had scored 13 fours in the entire tour. 13
Now,
fours, no sixes. No, I mean, okay, take a sixes test match, whatever. But for a guy who's supposedly called the best in Pakistan, the Virat Kohli of, the modern, well, or equivalent to Virat Kohli, these numbers are worse than Ravichandran Ashwin. I mean, I'll consider Ashwin as an all-rounder in test match. I mean, he's an amazing bowler and
maybe
can
Shardul
bat.
Thakur scored more. Maybe Shardul
I
Thakur
think
scored more
Lord
runs than
Thakur
Virat
scored
Kohli.
more runs than
Absolutely.
Babar Azam. So Babar would not make it to the Indian cricket if he's in India. He is lucky that he's in that part of the world and he is able to get into the team because his numbers don't actually speak that he is an amazing batsman there or he's the amazing batsman as they call him to be in the format.
Yeah, I mean, if a Pakistan cricket fan is watching this video, I mean, whenever we, put this up in YouTube, please ever don't dare to compare Virat Kohli and Babar Azam. ये बाबर आजम का थर्ड ऑस्ट्रेलियन टूर है. And just look at the things that Virat Kohli has done in four tours of
Yeah,
Australia. One, two, three, four, maybe four to five, I think, whatever the number of trips. Third trip में I remember Virat, or second trip में, if I remember, Virat Kohli scored 600 odd runs. Do you remember that
yeah,
series, Arvind?
yeah, I
No, I
remember
think,
that.
I mean, I know कि India lost very badly in that series. लेकिन Kohli had a fantastic series. The kind of stuff that Virat Kohli has done in South Africa, in Australia, and even in South Africa, for a matter of fact, because in Test cricket, at least a player from subcontinent is judged basically how he performs in Sena countries, and his perform in Babar Azam performance in Sena, barring England where he has played very less matches. I think उनका average 63, 64 है, just because he has couple of not out innings. लेकिन उनका रिकॉर्ड साउथ अफ्रीका में and even and in Australia is pretty torrid. आप पाकिस्तान की फ्लैट डोसाइल पिचेस में, कॉल इट व्हाट इट इज, दे वर फ्लैट एज मिरर. इवन इन डे 5, बॉल टर्न नहीं हो रही, बॉल इज नॉट कीपिंग लो एंड यू आर स्कोरिंग रन्स देयर. इट डजंट रियली मीन मच. आई थिंक ये
Yeah,
बाबर आजम के लिए बहुत ही बड़ी सीरीज थी. ही लॉस्ट अ चांस इन वर्ल्ड कप वेर ही डिडंट स्कोर अ लॉट. और एज अ टेस्ट बैट्समैन, आपका ये थर्ड ट्रिप था ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, and you just left it in canter. I mean, Pakistan team की performance भी बहुत बुरी रही. They were looking up to you to, score at least few runs. You didn't even
yeah.
score a 50. And you have lost all the legitimate rights to be you called in Big Four, जो पाकिस्तान के, ex players in पाकिस्तान के जर्नलिस्ट बोलते रहते हैं, Big Four, Big Five, Big Four को Big Five कर देना चाहिए. He's not there in Big Five. He's not there in Big
He's
Four.
not. He's not. I
That's
mean,
the end
he
of the
is
debate.
not. I mean, the debate is pretty much over with this kind of performance there. I mean, if you don't play against England, Australia, New Zealand, I mean, you're not playing against India anyway. So if you're not performing there, how are you even consider yourself as the greatest? So I think for me, the discussion is over. I think you're right. I mean, even calls it Virat Kohli says Babar Azam. Yeah, don't compare that. There is no comparison here. मैं शार्दुल ठाकुर को शायद कंपेयर कर सकता हूँ and I'll say Shardul Thakur is probably playing better than Babar today.
Probably.
But yeah. But let's switch from Pakistan. I think they probably are going to go back. As expected, what they would have performed, I think they would have liked to have done a little bit better. I would think from
I think
batting
the
point of
I,
view.
I think the only positive, just 30 seconds, the only positive that came out of this entire series, at least we had a Pakistan. Finally, in my tenure of watching cricket, Pakistan cricket, finally we had a Pakistan cricket captain who spoke decent English. Yeah, you can take it
Oh
from
yeah, and I think
there. Yeah.
that's because Shan Masood was studied in Durham. So
So that's the only positive
yeah,
that I can see. Yeah.
very true. And he the way he spoke was nice. I would give him that. So I like that. Uh, let's go to Australia. Man, they have finished the year on a bang. They won the World Cup,
WTC
WTC,
finals.
and now this.
This
I think it's just capping the year on a high. Um,
possibly would be one of the best years of Australian cricket, at least in terms of, capturing quote unquote
yeah,
trophies.
yeah.
So this must be one of the best years for Australian cricket
I
for sure.
mean, I'm looking at the score, not just scorecard. I was looking at some stats there. Um, they are right now winning this tournament 3-0. They are in the top of the WTC now already. 54 points. Second is India, by the way. Obviously, they India ने दो ही टेस्ट खेले हैं, obviously because अभी शुरू हुआ है. But you can see Pakistan has already made. Sorry, Australia has already made the entry there. Um, Pakistan is languishing in the lower half of the table there, and Sri Lanka, South Africa is kind of somewhere in the middle of the pack. But I mean, Patrick Cummins, क्या बोले यार, he is phenomenal. He's having a purple patch. I don't know. He's having his greatest year, captaincy, winning everything. Now winning like this, and a very amazing send off for David Warner, who has finally finished his career in cricket. And he scores a 50 in his final cricket. Uh, क्या बोले? I mean, what do you have to say about both? Let's talk first Patrick Cummins, and then we'll talk about Warner after that. What do you say? What do you have to say about Patrick Cummins and his finale of
I mean, I don't
his?
know Jan 1st of 2023 which side of the bed he basically woke up from. लेकिन यार I mean this is I mean हम लोग धोनी के बारे में काफी बोलते हैं लेकिन यार I don't think so I can remember a captain having this sort of an year. आपकी पर्सनल परफॉर्मेंसेस भी
And
अच्छी रही हैं.
bowling captain, batsman
या
captain भी उस सामने दिखा हुआ है. Bowling
हाँ
captain.
बॉलिंग कैप्टन. सो आपकी पर्सनल परफॉर्मेंस भी अच्छी रही हैं. अपने मेजर चैंपियनशिप्स जीते हैं इस साल के. आई मीन व्हाट कैन यू से. आई मीन यार इतने सारे लॉरेल जीत चुके हैं. देयर इज आई मीन मैं कुछ एडजेक्टिव्स ही डाल सकता हूँ लेकिन अ फिनोमिनल ईयर फॉर पैट्रिक कमिंस. आई थिंक वो आइसिंग ऑन द टॉप हो गया 20.4 crores.
Yeah, that's
मैन
exactly
आई
what it
थिंक
is, and that's like you become one of the highest earned IPL, IPL salaries or IPL, this thing ever. It's just almost like a perfect way to sign off the year and then come back next year with a bang.
रिवॉर्ड फॉर ऑल द हार्ड वर्क आई गेस.
Reward for all the hard work, I would say. I mean, he's been rightfully been the player of the year. I don't know if they'll do that player of the year sort of scenario, but amazing. I mean, there is no words for it. The way he has captained it, the way he has led in both test and one days. Formats be. Sare formats, man. I think that's what make it. And as you rightly said, personal performance. He's still the top wicket taker for them. In the series, in the whole as per the whole year. Amazing, amazing work. Um, David Warner. And I'm gonna miss him. Uh Not just he played for Sunrisers for 8 years, and the way he played in the tests for Australia. Fifth, he'll retire as number 5, all-time great uh, Australians in Test cricket in the number of runs. So 112 games, Test matches, 8,786 runs, highest score of 335, batting average of 44.59, 26 hundreds, 37 50s. He's only behind Ponting, Border, Steve Waugh, and Steve Smith. He's ahead of Michael Clark, Michael Hayden, Matthew Hayden, Mark Waugh, and Justin Langer. He has cemented himself as one of the all-time greats of Australia. Uh, Test matches, one days, T20s, the impact he had in IPL, the impact he had in the ODS for them. I think everyone's going to miss him.
I mean, a showman is a word that I think that kind of
Showman.
describes him the best. Likes of Chris Gale, Virender Sehwag, and Warner. I think they are one of the kinds. I'm not really sure if you're going to see them. Halaki, I know the brand of cricket that everyone is trying to play these days is quite aggressive. लेकिन आप देखें सहवाग जैसा बैट्समैन अभी तक नहीं आया है. आई नो सहवाग वार्नर सिमिलर है इन टर्म्स ऑफ स्ट्राइक
Yeah.
रेट्स एंड स्टफ, लेकिन इंडिया में नहीं आया. 20 साल हो गए हैं सहवाग को डेब्यू किए हुए. सो हालांकि गेम काफी एग्रेसिव हो चुका है अभी, लेकिन यू डोंट सी दीज काइंड ऑफ बैट्समैन ऑफन. सो एन अमेजिंग करियर यार. आई मीन आपको ये भी याद रखना पड़ेगा अरविंद, ही स्टार्टेड एज अ T20 player. And you possibly have to give somewhere some sort of credit to Virender Sehwag as well, because he was the one who basically said, "Keep possibly this is the format where you're going to do the best." And I remember, I think उनकी first Test century was versus New Zealand, if I
Mm-hmm.
can recollect that, and it was a very very tricky pitch where he scored his 100. And I just knew at that point of time that yes, this guy is just not a white ball format player. He can do very very well in red ball cricket as well, and he definitely proved it. Halaki, bas I think two blemishes in his entire Test career, if I might say. Since he's still going to be playing the shorter format, I think he's still going to be playing the T20s. I think one days he's taken off, and I think one days ab
Yeah.
zyada hote bhi nahi
Yeah.
is his record in England and his record in India. I think these are the only two blemishes that I
Yeah.
basically feel in his great Test career that he has had for more than a decade. Lekin again, to just to cover it, you have a fantastic T20 and a ODI career, where has been able to win World Cup twice, the ODI World Cup twice, and T20 World Cup once, and he has all the targets set to make sure Australia wins it again in the mid of this year, जो World Cup होने वाला है
Yeah.
वेस्ट इंडीज
Yeah.
और यूएस में. So fantastic career है वो डेविड वार्नर का.
And sort of, I think for me, it's also the personality, right?
Oh
People
yeah.
शायद याद रखेंगे या याद नहीं होगा या याद हो, I don't know. He was banned by Cricket
Oh yeah.
Australia after that whole sandpaper gate. Um, this was in that 2018 scandal which happened. Was that South Africa game? Um, he also was stripped of his vice captaincy back then, and he was banned from all the leadership roles from the Australian team. To come from there and then to win the World Cup in India and win the World Test Championship, signing off with a 50 years home test. Um, it also shows the kind of character which you want to see in a cricketer.
True, true,
Um,
true, true.
I mean, for me, I'll always remember him as one who has been an all format player. There are very few
Yeah.
whom I in the, at least in the modern day who can play all formats at a place like Virat Kohli comes to my mind in India. For me, he's that guy. He's known in IPL for his T20 game. He's known in one days for his one day game, and he's played amazing test career there. I think he also did that. Carrying the bat through. I was just looking at some of the data there around that. न्यूजीलैंड के साथ वो आई थिंक गैबा में 2011
Yeah, I think that's the
scored
series
that
I was talking.
that he was thing, and then he scored that 123 in Hobart after that. Uh, Different conditions and all of that, and then he scored that different century against India in that Perth game. He's always been one of the great test openers of the last decade for Australia, but also at the same time, अगर आपका उसका if you look at it his T20 record, he's played 356 T20 games, and he scored 11,695 runs in 320. The highest score of 135 there, and batting average of 37 in T20. He scored almost 7,000 runs in ODIs. A score of 179, which incidentally happened recently in that World Cup and the previous years thing. So Guy has been an amazing showman, as you rightly said. And I think a quote I'll quote him. उनको पूछा गया था after the game in the Sydney test. He said, "How would you like to be remembered?" He said,
Hmm.
"I would like to be remembered as an exciting, entertaining, and I hope I put a smile on everyone's face with the way I played," which I think aptly summarizes David Warner. I mean, he always brought that exciting, entertaining element to it. And I think the way he ends the interview, the way he ends his statement so beautifully. He said, "And hopefully the young kids out there can follow in my footsteps. White ball cricket to Test cricket," as you rightly said, the transition. It's the pinnacle of our sport. So keep working hard to play the red ball game because it's also entertaining as well. I
Yeah, yeah.
love the way he ended that interview. It kind of summarized what a great character he is. He loves Hyderabad. I know because he's been in a lot. He's been a fan favorite in Sunrisers Hyderabad. I know the end wasn't great, but I know he loves to do that whole Allu Arjun style, the Gedele, Telugu mein and all that. I mean, he's loved in India. He's loved in Australia. I think we're all gonna miss him. Hands down, one of the greatest cricketers of Australian sport, and I think there's going to be a big shoes to fill for them going forward in that opening slot for tests.
Yeah, and if you can remember, Arvind, I mean, he's had, two personalities, in his entire career of 13, 14, 15 years, maybe. I mean, I think he made his T20 debut in 2007, 2008. Maybe you can just look it up. He was quite brash, and I kind of like that
Yeah,
personality as well. The Australian, on your face. I mean, there've been many a times he got in skirmish with Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers, Quinton de Kock. I can remember many instances. I kind of like that. I mean, I know कि अब वो ज्यादा दिखता नहीं है ऑस्ट्रेलिया टीम से. आई थिंक काफी कुछ चेंज हुआ है फिल ह्यूज की डेथ के बाद. फिर जो सैंड पेपर गेट हुआ था, आई थिंक दैट काइंड ऑफ चेंज्ड वार्नर फॉर एवर. फिर उनकी शादी वादी भी हो गई थी, एंड ही इज काइंड ऑफ एट्रीब्यूटेड टू द इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ वाइफ इन हिज
and the
लाइफ
kids. Yeah, and the kids. Yeah, the
एंड
three
हिज
kids.
किड्स. तो उनका अगर आप करियर देखेंगे इन टर्म्स ऑफ पर्सनालिटी, देयर इज ऑलमोस्ट डुअल पर्सनालिटी. आई मीन, एक फर्स्ट
Yeah,
पर्सनालिटी थी ऑन योर फेस एंड
shades of
या.
Virat Kohli. You know how Virat Kohli has transformed in some
नहीं,
ways.
सेकंड में तो यार ही बिकेम सुपर फ्रेंडली, फैन फ्रेंडली, जैसे
Yeah,
आपने बोला ना. ये आई थिंक आईपीएल का
that's
भी
what we'll
थोड़ा सा.
remember. Even though I know the
राइट,
first part of the year he was not. And you
राइट.
rightly said he made his T20 debut in 2007. That was Queensland versus New South Wales. That was the Australian the T20 thing. He made his ODI debut internationally in 2009 January. So just when the 2008 was completed. T20 also he made that same week. Australia versus South Africa, Melbourne 2009. 2011 was when he made his test debut with New Zealand there. So you can say 14 years,
14
2009 to
years, yeah.
2015, 15 years, almost 15 years, you can say. Um, and 16 years overall, when you start from your local games. The list day was 2007. So, um, yeah, man, I think, it's a wrap to a legend. He'll be a legend now. I mean, as we go along, he'll be considered as one of the legends in the Australian
Yeah, I'm going
cricket.
to miss his
Also,
personality.
yeah,
I'm going
T20
to miss.
cricket. I think he'll be one of the early legends of T20 cricket as T20 grows up to see, one of the guys, all format players who's done so well here. So, with that, we'll wrap up the Australia Pakistan leg. I actually enjoyed this thing, and I'll be honest. I love the commentary as well. Yes, I bashed Michael Vaughan in my previous video, but I really loved Gilchrist. You know, and the other commentators what's his name? Hussey was there. It was
Haseem Akhaur, Haseem
genuinely,
Akram,
and,
Ravi
and
Shastri
and I'll
was there,
say
Harsha
this, yeah,
Bhogle.
Ravi Shastri was there. Harsha Bhogle came, and Ravi Shastri moved to this thing. One thing I want to end this with is I don't know ये क्या है. Somehow the Fox Australia या Cricket Australia का जो shooting वो जो the images होता है seems so much better than my BCCI coverage of the same test match. Like you see when Warner walks back, everyone came onto the stadium. And by the way, everyone were clapping. The Sydney was amazing, and then they all came into the stadium. The way he was walking back, and people were clapping, people were standing. The way the camera angle was shooting the shots, भाई मजा आ गया यार. मतलब I don't know why We don't do that. The way he walked, it was just focus on him, but background mein people's clapping was being visible. The shots was just fantastic. I generally felt the commentary was high quality, including Michael Vaughan, although I know he went over the top in that post game interview and all of that with respect to India. But when the बारिश रुक गई थी थर्ड टेस्ट में बीच में rain bad light happened, and that's another weird thing we'll talk in the test versus ODI thing. What the hell would you stop a game? Light भी था, ऐसा नहीं है. And then beach में they got these legends of Australia to talk through and to come through, who played in Sydney and all of that. I generally loved that coverage. I don't know why. I don't get that same vibe when BCCI does it. थोड़ा मुझे, I don't know. It feels not fake, but it feels almost like a show from a BCCI. It just feels really natural and genuine from these guys. I don't know. There's a difference or not. I'm not sure. The visuals, the audio, video, the production feels a little bit much better. I don't know what you felt about it, but I actually
No, it's
enjoyed the series, even though Pakistan lost.
it's I mean ये मैंने ऑस्ट्रेलिया में बहुत टाइम से एक्सपीरियंस किया द फैन एंगेजमेंट एंड द ओवरऑल एक्सपीरियंस और जो नए नए चेंजेस लाते हैं गेम में आप आई डोंट नो इफ यू सॉ दैट दे हैव बॉट इन एआई इन द रीप्ले
I saw that. That predicted
या
game, अगर ये ball ऐसे जाएगी and all that. I mean,
हाँ राइट
small things, the audio, video production itself, the quality of shots, quality of the way they're showing it. It's not that we can't do it. I just don't know. I mean, I feel it's nice. I mean, we could do
इट
it, I
इज
guess. I don't know.
and I think if I'm right HCL Tech is the partner of Cricket Australia. I'm not really sure if HCL Tech is the one who is doing this for them, but I
Interesting.
mean something for BCCI to
I
ponder.
mean,
I think yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, you look at the BCCI TV and you look at this whole Australia TV. I mean, I feel
It's
it's
chalk and
time
cheese.
we can, yeah, we can do some more investments on our side on these, the way we produce and show our stuff. I don't know, but yeah, amazing coverage. I felt it was nice. So we'll end it there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for please like this video. Please share it with your friends, family. Please comment. What did you think about David Warner? Whether you think he's one of the greatest Australian. What are you looking? What did you think about his career overall? But yeah, we will talk again in another video. Till then, bye bye.